Previously on A Peaceful Life. In the last episode, we were hired by Noah from the county to do some contracting work, which resulted in a nice paycheck. We also fertilized our crops for the first time. Finally, we did some more contracting work for our neighbor Walter, who unfortunately did not pay us, but hopefully we'll get that money from him soon. Either way, there's lots to be done to prepare for winter, so let's get started. Alright, hey everyone, what's going on? Needs More Drums back in our little Peaceful Life series here, building our homestead from scratch. And as you can see here, we're just pulling up in the morning here. It's the middle of October, and we got a new piece of equipment again. It seems like, you know, every episode we got something new, but that's just kind of how it is right now. You know, we're building our operation. We got to keep investing in some early, you know, pieces of machinery to really get things moving. Yeah, so we got ourselves a weeder here on the back of the trailer, which we're gonna just start the day off, hook up to this, and get in the field and get rid of the weeds before they become a problem. Which right now they're actually fine. They're still small enough to where we can use that weeder and get rid of them all. But yeah, the goal today is to really just keep on making some money from some of the logs. And so the silage is actually 100% fermented, but we're going to leave it for now because it's not at the highest price. I think we're going to wait for a winter to sell that, and we're also going to sell some of our wood chips in the winter. So we got a couple more months, but yeah, that's why today we're just really going to focus on you know, taking care of the crops, and then just jump right back into some logging, clear out the rest of those trees, and you know, hopefully we can get enough of a space to get another field ready for the spring. You know, I'd like to get something sizable enough, you know, maybe do a little bit of grass work or something. I don't know if we'll plant crops in it. It kind of depends on how much money we have, if we can afford like a little baler or not. You know, if we have a baler, then we can really start doing some grass work. But if not, then we'll just plant some more crops. You know, I'm sure there's some spring crops, maybe like some oats or something that we could plant to you know, that grows pretty quick, so we can harvest in the summer alongside the barley that we currently have. But yeah, like I said, the main plan is getting these weeds out of the ground. And I also want to think about investing in another tractor. I know I've talked about it before, but I think that's really going to be the goal of our cash, you know, making some cash today is going to be putting that money towards another tractor. And if we could do that, then we're going to be in really, really good shape for the winter. The tractor that I want to go for is actually a John Deere. I've been looking at the store. There's a John Deere that's kind of right in the right price range, and it's gonna provide us with the ability to have a front loader attachment, so we can maybe get rid of some of the Bobcat implements that we bought, and it's also going to give us a lot more horsepower. I'll show you guys the one that we're thinking of getting, you know, kind of as we get closer to doing that. But yeah, it'll be worth it, I promise. You know, we'll get a front loader attachment, we'll get another log fork, and I also want to purchase a trailer, like a log trailer. I think it would be really beneficial to have that alongside a more powerful tractor. Then we can definitely haul some more logs each trip to the sawmill, rather than just, you know, relying on the old flatbed there, which, you know, we can't haul too many logs because we can't really stack them high enough. So yeah, lots to think about. And then the third thing, the last thing that I want to really invest in by the end of this episode is a little shed. I think, you know, we got our equipment just sitting out here in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it really is not a great option. It's only been here for a little bit, so I'm not too worried, and there's really nobody out here. But as, you know, the area grows and people start moving in here, I just don't want this stuff sitting out, you know, for people to get their hands on. So it definitely is going to make sense for us to invest in a shed. I found some cheap ones, kind of a sub $20,000 range. So I think that's kind of the priority. You know, I want to get that before we get a new tractor, because you know, what's the point of getting a new tractor if we don't have anywhere to put it? So makes sense to me, right? So yeah, so we'll put some money towards a new shed and get that, you know, built, and then we can start looking at a new tractor. But that's going to be a lot of cash. You know, I think that tractor costs almost like I don't know, 60 grand or something. So it's gonna be, we're gonna be all in probably. We gotta get to like, I don't know, maybe 80 grand in this episode just from logs, which is gonna be, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, but I think we could do it. I really think we can. So yeah, it'll just be a lot of trips back and forth to the sawmill, that's for sure. But anyway, that's the goal for today. Want to get that all done before winter, and then during the winter we'll just focus on logging more and more, and it's getting that, you know, just building up the bank account so we can have a really profitable spring. Hopefully invest in some new equipment, like I said, maybe a baler, maybe some grass work. But that's all, you know, way down the line. So for now, let's just get to work here, get these fields cleared of some weeds, and then we'll check back in with you guys once we're ready to get into some logging for the day. Alright guys, and that's a wrap on both of those fields. We don't have GPS unfortunately because we're using some older equipment. But yeah, so now that we're done with that, all that we have left to do for now is just make some extra money. So let's go ahead and just jump into the Bobcat over here, and we will get to cutting down some trees. I just want to clear all those out over there so that we can just kind of make enough space to get a new field going in the near future. We're just going to work our way closer, you know, that way. But yeah, let's go ahead and just jump into a little bit of time lapse. Let's get some logging done, get some money in the bank account, make a few trips to the sawmill, and then hopefully pretty soon we'll have enough to get a shed built and hopefully get our new tractor soon. So let's get to work. We got a lot to get done. All right, guys, we are back. It's a beautiful November morning. We spent the rest of October getting some logging done, and we now have a pretty hefty amount in the bank. We're up to almost 95 grand. Cannot complain there. Yeah, it's definitely time to start purchasing a couple things. Like I said, we want to get a shed and maybe get that tractor ordered, and we could pick it up, between now and the next episode. But just want to show you guys kind of our progress. We cut down everything over here. We still got to grind down all the stumps, but doesn't take too long. And then I've also marked the rest of the trees that I want to get cut down, at least for the winter. Like I said, I do want to get another field here, and if we kind of look, there's a pretty straight shot just straight back there where this is kind of a nice natural boundary for another kind of a decent sized field, not too small, but at the very least, we can expand it out over this way, and then we can kind of, work on this like in, bits and pieces. So then we'll start taking down these trees here, but we'll have this area ready to go for some additional either crops, or if we decide to do grass. I haven't decided yet, but it would be nice to get something in there in the spring. Maybe I'll do just like another grain crop, like I said, like maybe some oats or something with a quick growth period. But yeah, and then like I said, this open area right here I want to keep for like our house and probably another type of shed or some garage or something. But in terms of what we're going to do now, I want to get a shed put together right over here, probably where we got our tractor parked. We do have the bunker silo there, but we have a nice plot of land right behind it. And our land kind of sits on a slope. You can see just looking at the land now, it kind of slopes down to the left. So we have to deal a little bit with the terrain slope, but if we get a shed, I'm not too worried about it. Just one of those metal prefab ones. I've been looking, and I think I've come to a decision on which one I want. So let's go ahead and get that shed placed down before we end our episode for the day. And you can see in the field here, you can see where I kind of missed a few of the spots with the weeder. Nothing crazy, but that's what you get for not having GPS or anything like that. So anyway, let's go ahead and see where we want to get our shed put down. All right, and so this is the one that I'm thinking that we should get. It is $12,000. It's one of those Morton sheds, and it's a pretty good size, and it's nice and enclosed. So, being out here in the open, being that currently we don't have a house here, we're coming back and forth to the property. It makes sense to kind of have all of our equipment enclosed into, a covered shed or something like that, rather than just leaving any of it out in the open. And we don't have a lot, so it should be able to fit in here no problem, even when we get our next tractor. And whatever, but like we have plenty of space here to work with. So I think I want to put it kind of like right here. We can go a little bit past the where our field is right now, but I might just kind of leave that space open for now. Actually, you know what? Nah, we'll leave it. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of put it kind of to the edge of our property line here. Again, you can see where the grass kind of changes color. And just let me make sure this is all squared up here, which it is. And the cool thing about this shed is that we can actually customize the colors. So if I just press the F key there, I can go in here and I can change up the walls. I actually want some red walls. I think that's just a classic look. And then for the roof, we can go a little bit darker, maybe like a gray, like a dark gray. I think would look pretty nice. Maybe something like that. It's looking a little bit better than, just typical white roof. When you have like the white roofs that tend to get kind of dirty, but I don't mind the white trim on this. I think it looks all right. So we'll go ahead and get this placed down. Hopefully it doesn't shift the terrain too much. But I think this is going to be a perfect spot for it right about here. And we are going to get rid of the bunker silo in the future. I think we're going to probably just resort to bales, since they're a little bit easier to move around, a little bit easier to store. And we'll probably invest in a bale shed as well at some point. But yeah, just right about here, I think is a great spot for this. Yeah, and you can see it did kind of mess with the terrain just a little bit. So I might jump in and kind of smooth that out. And there we go. That should be a little bit better. I just wanted to smooth out the front so there's not this giant bump when we're pulling into the shed there. The sides are okay. Nothing too bad there. Maybe just this corner just a little bit more, but I don't want to mess with that bunker silo, so we'll just leave it like that for now. But yeah, would you look at that? A nice new shed for us, and we'll get our tractor ordered here in just a second. But yeah, in terms of what's left to do for this episode, I think this is about it. I think the next episode we're gonna come back probably during the winter. We're gonna sell some of our stuff. We got some our pile of wood chips over there right in front of that tree. We have our silage that is ready, that will be at prime at its highest price during the winter. And then we also have, if we walk over here a little bit, I know it's a ways away. So as you come over here, you can see we have these couple of piles of just random trees. And so these were all of these trees, like these little orange ones here, that are just not really conducive to, chopping up as logs and getting ready to, sell them that way. They're very, abnormally shaped and don't have the nice, clean, like, yeah, they're just not good for logging. So just kind of getting rid of these. And I'm going to wood chip these. I'm going to run a wood chipper during the winter, and we're going to chip these. And if it's profitable, which it might be, I might even just do that for some of the smaller trees, like that one there. You can see these ones that are they're straight, but they're just not that tall yet. They're just not that mature. So we can, like this one here, for example, on the right, this little group on the left here, all of these can be chipped if it turns out to be profitable. And so far, looking at the prices, it might not be that bad of an option. We'll have to see what we get for that pile over there. We'll start to sell that in the next couple of months and see if it's actually profitable. I've never really sold wood chips before, so not too sure what to expect. But it's a byproduct. These were just from grinding down all the stumps. We're gonna get plenty more over here, so I'll probably make another little pile over here. We can work with that and get that sold for a little bit of extra dollars. I mean, every single penny counts. So want to sell everything that we can, and then once we have done that, we'll pick up our tractor, and actually we'll probably, what? Let's go ahead and get that ordered real quick. Let's go ahead and jump in, go online, get that tractor ordered before we get before we end the episode. All right, and so this is the tractor that I want to get. This is a John Deere 7810, 175 horsepower, which is like over double what we have now. And it's only 68 grand. It's not too bad, a little bit more old school, but the nice thing about this is that we can attach a front loader. So I wanted to get a tractor with a front loader attachment because we can actually, get a log fork for it and stuff. And I think it'll be, it's a bigger machine. It's heavier. It can deal with some bigger logs. And I also want to get a trailer. I want to get a trailer ordered as well. So we can get like a proper, log trailer and really, really increase the amount that we take to the sawmill in one pass. It's going to be really, really good for us, and definitely going to, pay off in the future. So always good to have some bigger machinery around. And plus, this will actually be able to pull a baler. So in the springtime, we can start thinking about that. We'll see how much money we get from the silage and whatever, and the wood chips and stuff, and the rest of those trees too, for that matter. But yeah, it'd be great to get a baler and start thinking about some grass work potentially when we get that new field and stuff. So I think I'm going to keep the regular wheels on it for now. I don't really want any kind of wheel weights or anything, and those are really expensive. $5 grand for that. Yeah, no thanks. We'll just purchase a weight. I do want to get a weight for this. And the cool thing about this, you can have the front loader attacher and the 3-point hitch at the front, so it becomes kind of a dual purpose, tractor. We could use it for our front loading work, and as well as if we want to run like anything on the front or just have a weight on the front, we can do that too. So this tractor is excellent. One thing that I will do, I might switch up the tires. I like Michelin's and Continentals because I've always bought those for my cars, and they're good tires. So we'll go with Michelin's. Why not? The old Michelin man here. So let's go and get this purchased. And we have 12,000 left in the bank. So let's go ahead and see if I can get one of those trailers. Actually, before I do that, I just realized that I wanted to grab one of these front loaders. So we have the quickie ones. I don't think we need the biggest one, even though we can handle it. It might be a little bit too big for our purposes. We'll try the 6M, and this is expensive, so we may not actually be able to get the trailer today, but that's really not a big deal. I think we'll be all right if we don't have that. But yeah, these are for different John Deere, so we're actually not gonna worry about those. We can go ahead and grab this one. We'll paint it in a John Deere green, and that'll look great on our new tractor. 8,500 bucks is a little bit steep, but I think we'll be all right. And then finally, I would like to get a log fork for this front loader. I think I should have one somewhere here. So 3 grand, ouch. But you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So it leaves us with $1,000. We just spent all of our money, but you know what? It's okay. Let me just check out, just for reference, how much it would cost us to get one of those log trailers as well. So I'm looking at this guy here. Minimum price, we're looking at about 4 grand, which I am not too disappointed with that. I think that'll be just fine. Might leave the Continental tires on this one since it's a little bit cheaper. And yeah, we can actually convert this between a bale trailer and a wood trailer. So that is a nice option for the future. But yeah, I think this is going to be really, really nice for us. It should not be hard to get to this, get an extra couple of grand. I mean, honestly, one more load of trees and we'll have enough money to buy this trailer. So I think that's going to be in the next episode. We'll get that by then. Cut down a couple more trees in the meantime, and get that rest of that area cleared out. But yeah, look at that, $81,000 new vehicles. Oh my goodness, hurt the wallet, but it's worth it. I promise. It's worth it. We can invest in some bigger equipment. That tractor is going to be great for us to use in the future on the farm. So we'll go pick that up between now and the next episode, and we'll get everything moved into the shed. And then I'll see you guys probably in a month or so when we're ready to sell all of our stuff at the highest prices. So I'm just going to get back to work, cut down the rest of those trees over there that I marked with the red X, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for sticking around. Hope that you enjoyed this one. We made a lot of progress in this episode, and I'm really, really excited to see what's going to happen. What we earn from the winter and what we can start planning for in the spring. We got big things coming. So little by little, we are making some good progress, and we made a couple of new friends today. So hopefully we can get that. Or that wasn't today. That was in the last episode. Sorry, everything's all mushed together in my mind. But yeah, maybe we'll see if Noah needs anything in the winter for the county, and we'll still try to talk to Walter and maybe go see if he has that money for us from that contract that we did a while back. So that's all for the future. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching and sticking with me on this journey. Hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace out.